intro. Anyway, before we hit Old Kiess Castle, we start by just parking up at the harbour. This is where these signs will direct you to park. It's pretty much a ditch your car somewhere sensible. So off in the distance you can see North Head Lighthouse. Luckily enough, the sun was silhouetting the lighthouse for me with a big container ship in the foreground, just creating some nice scale for a very simple image. It was pretty windy this day, so you can see the waves are chopping about. It's not exactly a super interesting harbour. There's plenty of old boats and lobster traps and sort of fishing equipment lying about, so you'll get a few interesting compositions, but it won't take up much of your time. Walking along the beach, you'll pass a couple of old World War pillboxes. You can get inside them and have a nosy about. They're quite interesting. As I got down to the beach, there's what's a fairly common sight in Scotland these days, a nice big plump seal sitting there watching me. I always find them quite interesting. They're such curious animals, tend to just sit and watch you. I think they're as fascinated by me as I was by them. So I've done my best to include it in the foreground of some images. On the small screens you'll struggle to see it in the bottom right corner, but always nice including a wee sea dog in your photos. So I set myself up as close as I dared to the wave, in some cases a wee bit too close, just trying to catch some power from the sea itself with it being such a rough day. I did take some with a slow shutter speed, just with a 10-stop filter on. Got to say, I preferred the fast shutter speed to just capture those waves as they were coming in. With the tide continuing to encroach onto the beach, I decided to continue on towards the castle and get a wee bit closer. Look at that fence in action. As usual, I got distracted by a cliff edge and thought to myself, I wonder how close I can get to the edge of that without falling in. And the answer was pretty close. My goal was to try and include this sea stack down at the bottom and have some waves act as a leading line up to the castle. I couldn't quite get far enough out without catching part of the grass, as you can see. At the time I thought I'd caught a great image there, but on review I'm not really that happy with it. It's kind of half the trouble when you get caught up in the moment. You've got the excitement, the environment, and also you're reviewing it on a very small screen in the back of your camera. So it is tough. I suppose that's kind of part of the main reason to just slow down and really have a good solid look. That's a lot easier if you're not hanging over the side of a cliff, obviously. As you get up close and personal, you see what is a common sight at castles, and that is some sort of scaffolding or fencing. In this case, it's not to help support the castle in any way, it's just to keep people out more for their safety. And while we're on the subject of safety, since there's another cliff face, I couldn't resist just hanging off the edge of it. This image works a lot better. I feel the castle's more of a subject in it, and the crashing waves show off a lot more power from the sea just this close. Just a shame that that fence kind of spoils the left-hand side of the image. I couldn't really find any other great compositions around this castle, and when you go to the other side you lose a lot of the cliffs and the sort of environment surrounding the castle. You start just caching the fields, so I called it a day at this. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe and a comment really helps this channel grow. Obviously I'm still quite a small wee channel, so every bit of interaction is appreciated. If you want, you can check out all my photos on Instagram at 4pads. There is a Ko-fi account to help support my lighthouse project. And have you ever considered bathing your anus in the sun?